The moment of truth has arrived as we click the wrong thing. Let's try something else here. Getting ahead of myself. The moment of truth has arrived for my ISP, and this chat stream is going to be it. What is up, everybody? This is Jay, aka MultimediaJay, and welcome to the Late Night Nerd Lounge. We're basically going to tie up loose ends with this whole internet thing, what happened with the month of September, what's going on with the channel and everything, and just overall do a practical test of the internet now that I am doing what the ISP has been complaining, about stuff. It's your equipment might be the problem. It might be your router. It might be your modem. So I made a commitment that sometime this week I would do some kind of stream where I would bypass literally the entire network and just go from the computer to the modem, and that's it. Just do everything the old-fashioned way like I did back when I first got out on my own. No fancy equipment, no wireless, no nothing. I set the lights the way I wanted them, and now I can't do anything about them until after the stream.
I can't reach the internet right now. Check your modem or router connection and try again.
And the smart speakers now echo telling me I can't reach the internet right now. So, for my ISP, this is the moment of truth. It was raining tonight. There's a bit more humidity and stuff like that. That looks like my hair's sticking up when I have the thing out like that. It was raining tonight. We'll see if there's a weather connection. Last night, I did a test stream, a private stream on YouTube, because you can do those things on YouTube. I did a private stream just testing the connection, and it went for 3 hours with only 30-something dropped frames. That makes my head look a little too round. Let's just do this. That actually, so I did a test last night, and the stream went for like 3 hours, just showing the Be Right Back screen for the chat streams. It went for 3 hours, and it basically had only 30 dropped frames. That's awesome. That's more in line with the numbers I was seeing before whatever it is it broke a couple of weeks ago broke. But boy, does it suck that I lost a month to this crap. Assuming there isn't still something lingering outside the house that needs to be fixed. I'm not canceling the service tech visit for Friday. We know that everything from the service box afterwards, into the house, to the computer, to everything, we know all of that is new, and all of that is working great with low noise. Now we got to test the last thing that's on the property, and that is the cable coming from the box, from the pole to the house. We need to make sure that's A-okay. And then whatever happens, happens. I can just say, hey, I'm getting dropped frames and stuff. And then maybe the ISP can direct stuff to their network ops people or something like that, or send the bucket trucks out. But if we can rule out what was going wrong on this property, then that basically leaves it as something for the ISP to figure out. I did, however, kind of be a stick in the mud when I mentioned that it is interesting how these internet problems perfectly line up with when Frontier had that settlement with the state of Connecticut, and they exited the industry in this area as a competitor because they're not selling DSL service anymore, the old service that I used to have. So, where is it? I almost tripped over it the other day. So yeah, this old Frontier NVG 589, this old Frontier box is now officially a relic of history. It's an old DSL thing, and it's been relegated to, I don't know what I want to do now. Recycle it? I don't know. Recycle it? Return it? I don't know. But Frontier, so here's the plan. Here's the plan right now. Unfortunately, the technicians up with the cable company have been kind of bullheaded, and they've done their own thing no matter what I've told them. So one of the things that the last service tech did with the internet is he basically chopped a lot of the wires on the side of the house that haven't been used in years, including the old coax and stuff from the old cable and satellite installations, which means now I don't have the option of picking where the cable service comes into the house. It has to come in through the bedroom because he severed the lines to where the old coax jack that's over in the project area, that's now a dead jack that's not hooked up to anything. So here's what I'm going to do. In order to get rid of the power line component of the network, if I go to fiber when Frontier rolls out Frontier Fiber in this area, I will have the service come in at the project area and take power line to the bedroom for throttled devices like the wireless APs and the printers. Probably drop to like an AP or two or something like that. Probably drop to something in terms of wireless. Maybe use my old main router or something for that. But the idea here is if I switch to fiber, it will come into the project area, and then cable will come in over in the bedroom like it currently does. So have the superior technology, have the Ethernet option to go straight from the coax over to the computers without having to go through some converter device to save on cabling. And the best part of that will be, of course, we will not have Ethernet cables going across doorways and stuff, because we'll just go along the back wall to the front to the computer, and then everything else will just be secondary. And the project area will probably be really, really fast. Probably the full 500, of course, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. So yeah, no drop frames, nothing on the output. I'm just watching it. I'm watching the CPU and the Ethernet usage. I was playing with QoS on my main router last night after the test, but it's irrelevant because we're bypassing everything with the way everything is right now. So, moment of truth time. Has the ISP finally, after a month, fixed this crap? We shall see. Let's see if we get any drop frames, and if we do, how many do we get, or something along those lines. So 30 is what I got last night with one lag spike grand total in a 3-hour stream. That's very, very improved from when we were routinely dropping down into DSL country and stuff like that. So we'll see how it goes. But I mean, September has been pretty much ruined by this internet stuff. We had some storms come through in the end of August. They caused the damage they caused, and it was a giant runaround with the now cable monopoly in order to make any progress whatsoever. And it took weeks just to get a technician out here who would actually do something with some SNR meters instead of just finger pointing my modem and getting me to waste $150 and then have to return a modem to Walmart. So one of the side effects, there's been a lot of side effects of this. So here's the thing. I was working on my retro setup, then work got busy with peak season. That's gone now. We're getting out early. We can get out early. I'm actually getting some more hours cleaning the place just so I don't drop down too low on hours. But that's gone. But around the time that things were settling down and I could actually do some videos again, the internet started flaking out. And I went back and forth. So here's the thing. For the month of September, I think you folks might have seen my Oktoberfest theme on Twitter. Also, my reference to my old MultimediaJay video where I take some diet ginger ale and drink out of a huge beer mug type thing. This, of course, is the usual drinks, but oh well. I was planning on having some Oktoberfest themed streams with all of this, but if you can't get a stable internet connection, I don't want to be dealing with lag spikes or other stuff marring the experience, so to speak. So we'll see what happens on Friday with hopefully the last Trouble Tech visit for quite some time now. We're just going to rule out the problem as being on the property, at which case they can turn to their own network ops team to get all that sorted out. But it's just amazing how, I finally get a cable monopoly for the first time ever, and then I get an entire month ruined by flaky internet. That kind of thing gets the gears turning. To get you thinking about stuff. And that's why the title of the stream is what it is. The streams are named after whatever the main topic is. And I can definitely say tonight, for any of you people that are getting involved in YouTube or Twitch or whatever, streams are not a replacement for videos. I think that this is a lesson. Some of these Twitch streamers are learning this the hard way right now. You see some of the big streamers out there. They pretty much hit the limits on what they can do with the streams they're doing right now. So they're trying to get more creative, but fundamentally at the core of all of that is a Twitch stream and all of the problems with Twitch streams and all the problems with Twitch. You really have to think bigger in terms of live streaming in order to get away from that garbage. It's like streaming is inherently limited. And as we've seen this month, it can be inherently limited even on the tech side of it as well. So if you can't, here's the thing. I mean, I have two choices if I want to have a topical discussion about something. I can make a video and get it right and edit it and upload it, and that's that, just like that. Or I can try and do something similar to one of these chat streams and run the risk of maybe chat wants to talk about something, maybe something happens, maybe the internet goes out, maybe it's an ISP maintenance night, that thing that used to throw me offline before all this flaky stuff happened. Maybe it's an ISP maintenance night. Maybe there's a cutout or something. There were two things, of course, with these lag spikes, and they were a drop in frame rate, which would mean the bandwidth dropped down to like half of what it should be, and then it compensated afterwards to catch up. So that would definitely be a lag spike. Or it would drop so low that it would throw a buffering error on YouTube, and that's when I'd know that there might be a chance that I get hard cut from the lag. So I'd have to stop the discussion, and hopefully when I started talking again, I picked up where I left off, and there wasn't an issue. Now, you can avoid all of that by making a video. Simple. You cannot lose track of what you're talking about, and you cannot lose track of what you're talking about by making a video. You can not have to worry about whether you're saying the same thing twice in a big, long discussion by making a video. I mean, here's my progression with all of this. And we'll come back to this for the more main discussion type part of all of this. But for now, let's just say this. I've been a YouTuber for years. You folks know that. You know my channel goes back to 2006. You know the sunglass thing goes back to 2006 as well with Humble Roots, my multimedia anthology, talking about what was going on before I got into YouTube. Videos were a thing in my area. Internet to do more than videos was not. Now, I realize there are some people that just hate the fact that I stream. They hate the fact that I'm doing any streaming whatsoever. They'd rather I shut everything down, never make a YouTube short, never stream, nothing. Shut it all down, pretend it's 2018 forever, which, by the way, won't work. I've already seen YouTubers make themselves look like jackasses because they keep their heads stuck in the past. You just don't do that. It's like the world will move on without you if that's your attitude. Today, it's about something really, really simple. Finding what works for each of the formats that you have access to. Just like you should find out what works for every platform that you're on. There are some people that will probably be subbing to me on YouTube or checking out some of my videos or something who like my game screenshots, despite the fact that I'm souping them up in Picasa, an obsolete Google program to the tune of years, and uploading them to Instagram, where it's limited. You can't zoom in on them. You can't full screen them on a horizontal device like a 1080p television. You can't really get the experience of what people on Twitter will see. You have to look at them. Instagram was made for phones, and it shows. But even with the limitations of Instagram, there's a community of people on Instagram who like video game screenshots that have been liking the stuff that I've been uploading. So now, am I going to start trying to upload Instagram pictures with big essays in the description box like some people have done? No, that's not what Instagram's about. It's about scrolling through a feed and clicking the heart button on stuff you like as far as pictures and videos and streams go. But it's a phone-based format. It's always been a limitation of Instagram, even under Facebook. But really, that's it. I mean, whatever you have, find out what is best, what it's best used for. And I can tell you through experience and hammering this out for the last 2 years or so, there are some things that streams are better at than everything else. And there are things that literally anything else is better at than a stream. And this is the second point of this is going to be the hard lesson that a lot of Twitch streamers learn in the very, very, very near future. So, today is Thursday, wee hours of the morning. Welcome to the Late Night Nerd Lounge, though I've probably already said that by now. It is the wee hours of the morning on Thursday, October 6th, 2022. Twitchcon San Diego is this weekend. And I'm not too enthused about it. Of course, I'm pretty much known as the guy that can't stand. I gotta buzz that bit. Yeah, I was buzzing my hair down. It looks like I missed a spot. I'll fix it later. Looks like I have a chisel on the side. Looks like I have a chisel head there. One of the pitfalls of doing your own hair to try and save money on haircuts. Either way, TwitchCon San Diego is coming up, and I'm not very enthused about it. Of course, I'm known as being a guy who's not very enthused about Twitch. I'm basically a very disgruntled, disaffected, whatever you want to call me, who is just blah about the whole Twitch thing. And that's because Twitch My Twitch experience is like sinking your teeth into a rotten watermelon. It looks great when you go to eat it, but if you once you bite into it, you get hit with just how rotten it really is. And you are disgusted and just want to spit it out and wash your mouth out or whatever. It's just horrible. And that's been my experience on Twitch. I was curious about Twitch because I knew of its strong gaming brand. And there was a time in the mid-2010s when they actually tried to become a comprehensive gaming platform, but they pulled the plug on that. With uploads, they're now severely nerfed and other stuff. There was a time when I once thought about bringing Play Some stuff over to Twitch because on YouTube there was so much hatred towards gaming videos. People had been desensitized to anything involving gaming footage because there was an entire scene of commentators who just tacked their audio commentary onto completely unrelated gaming footage and cheapened what it meant to be a good gaming video across wide swaths of YouTube. And that just sucked. The commentators that used to do that have since moved on from it, but there's still a few people out there that are doing it. But there's really nothing quite like watching gaming videos go from a nice thing that people can appreciate because YouTube is based on personalities and stuff before all the brands and corporate crap showed up. When you could showed up, I should say. I thought I said shut up. No, showed up. Before all the brands and corporate crap showed up on YouTube, YouTube was about personalities. It was a social media platform, the video version of MySpace. You gave yourself a nickname, you made a page for yourself, and you basically shared stuff. And part of that was when you were playing video games. People didn't think of, oh, is your channel a gaming channel or not? They didn't care about that. They just like, oh, this cool person whose videos I watch on YouTube played some video games. They made this game review. Cool, I'm going to see it. But people's attitudes soured as we went into the 2010s. People's attitudes soured, and eventually it got to the point where so many people were basically cheating their way into having videos on YouTube. They were cheating by not actually making proper videos. So what they would do, they would record essentially an audio commentary. They basically record themselves playing video games for hours and then take bits and pieces of that gameplay and use that as the video component of their commentary videos. Really lazy, really low effort, and unfortunately it sabotaged the crap out of what people thought of gaming stuff on YouTube. That's changed since then, but so has the commentary scene that used to do that all the time. Now that's kind of gone away, and commentators do like vlog style videos with streaming equipment and stuff. But it's a different story. It's a different world and a different YouTube than it was 10 years ago. So in the mid-2010s, Twitch could have been it. Twitch could have taken the spotlight from YouTube when it comes to gaming. Unfortunately, they didn't have the infrastructure or the whatever to handle it, and the platform wasn't really designed for it. I mean, I watched as uploads got shut down on Twitch. First, they had it so that uploads were an expansion of what Twitch meant as a gaming platform. So you could upload videos to Twitch and make a Twitch channel and put gaming videos on it. But they got flooded with everybody's Let's Plays and all kinds of other stuff when they did that. So they totally opened the floodgates on themselves. I watched as Twitch's attempt to be something more than a streaming platform slowly failed over a couple of years. First, it was an alternative to YouTube that was gaming focused. The culture was very friendly to gaming. You could upload gaming videos. Then I watched a limit placed on the algorithm so that your videos would completely 100% stop getting views. Worse than on YouTube. You literally would disappear out of the results if people... Well, Twitch as a gaming platform, comprehensive gaming platform, was terrible from the beginning. I noticed very early on that it took too many clicks to get past the live streams and look for uploads to watch like it was YouTube. And years of web design and other experience with UIs and stuff like that have taught me that when there's too many clicks, people don't do stuff. People don't want to spend all day clicking around. They want to get to whatever it is they want to see or run or whatever. They want to do that. And Twitch was no exception. I was like, uploads are not going to work on Twitch because it takes too many clicks to get past all the live streams to find some uploads to watch. It's not going to turn into another YouTube. Well, that started. It began with, me getting similar amounts of views on Twitch to what I got on YouTube at the time with the gaming videos, actually more at one point. But then Twitch started quietly walking away from what they ambitiously were trying to do. First, the algorithm, well, the UI was nerfed from the beginning. Let's get that straight. Then, the algorithms were nerfed. The search and browsability was nerfed. If your video was more than a certain amount of time old, it completely disappeared from the browse menu. Even if you were the only one with a video about a certain obscure game, you would disappear when your video was too old. Someone would have to know the exact title of your video and search for it in order to get it in the results. So much for discoverability. That died first. Then Twitch walled uploads behind Twitch affiliate. So now you needed to establish yourself as a streamer on the platform before you could do any uploading. And then, with the revamp of the channel stuff in 2020 and the revamp of the UI for browsing people's channels, they relegated uploads to a side feature that maybe somebody will click on. Someday. It was nerfed into the ground. Completely useless. If I go to my Twitch channel today, what do I have? First, I get an... All right. I click videos, featured, uploads, Super Skill Brothers, an old 2008 YouTube video. I quietly uploaded it to see what would happen. 21 views in 5 months. Let's actually hook up browser mode here. Let's hook up browser mode. We only accidentally clicked on it at the start of the stream. Browser mode. Here's my Twitch channel. And here's the sad results of uploads on Twitch. 5 months, 21 views for an old Super Smash Brothers video. And the sad part is, you can F5 yourself some views on here. I don't know if it gets fixed or not. I don't think views are important on Twitch. The API actually stopped sending view data out to sites like Sullynome. Now it's literally only live stuff and concurrent stuff. Views, you can't even look at the ratio anymore of concurrent viewers to other stuff. Let's see. Nope, no drop frames yet. The connection's getting unstable. The connection's getting unstable, unless it's because I got something going on Twitch, so it's counting as extra bandwidth because I have a web browser open and it's pulling data. And if it's sending data, it's going to do what's going on the screen right now. But we'll watch and see if the bandwidth drops. And I do mean bandwidth, not traffic. The traffic gets held up by the lack of bandwidth when those lag spikes happen. So here's the upload section. Takes too many clicks just to get to it, and I have a redundant thing about, oh, you've been subscribed to MultimediaJay because if you're a Twitch affiliate, you get you're basically a tier 3 sub to yourself permanently, and then you get all the stuff about check out the relationship you had with MultimediaJay. Like, what? Really? Either way. Super Skill Brothers, 21 views, 1.5K views on the 2021 Overture. But that's because that was the channel trailer on my channel. So anyone who visited the channel, including myself, the times I browsed over, counts as a view. And we know the view is very, very liberal. Here's the full 2021 Overture here. Let me see. Let me just go to it. And let me back out and refresh the page. Let me back out and let me refresh the page. And did it go to 9 views? Oh, no, not 8 views. Okay, maybe it's a little smarter than it used to be. Guild Wars 2 is fun again was my last upload before affiliates were walled. Before it was walled behind affiliates. It was it on YouTube first? I don't know. Anyways, Guild Wars 2 is fun again. 6 views 4 years ago. A fun overview of Forza Horizon 4. 2 views in 4 years. The Crew 2, A Lovable Mess, 3 views. 1 Tamriel, My Story Thus Far. This is from when everything first launched. 68 views. First Impressions of the Skyrim Special Edition from 2016. 26 views. 24 views for Guild Warcraft's 2, Legion's New Endgame. High Mountain Stands Till You Jump Off, 28 views. Howdy Twitch, my hello to Twitch, 122 views from 6 years ago. 25 views from Howling Fjord 2.0. Paladin 102, 39 views. 48 views, Let's Cheese the Holy Hammer Quest. October 14th, 2016. This is what happened to uploads on Twitch. Too many clicks, no support, and can I even get... Let me just look up something here, just in case I don't do anything TOS here. If I go to browse, and I want to browse uploads, let me go to Elder Scrolls Online. If I click videos, and then I click again to specify uploads so I don't get people's VODs. Views high to low. Here's the results that we get. Here's the results we get. Viking Trash, 1.1k views 4 months ago. And a bunch of airy summer player housing things that are only like a minute or 30 seconds or whatever. Like from months ago and last year. It's stuff like that. Revy Rampage's channel trailer. Huit Blanche, Princely Dawnlight Manor, 9 months ago. Elder Scrolls Online, Dungeon something from last month. It's buried. It takes way too many clicks to get to. It takes way too many clicks to get there. So, yeah, Twitch had the opportunity to become something more comprehensive. It didn't work out. And now Twitch is doubling down. Still no drop frames. That's cool. Now, but everything's smoothed out now that I've closed Twitch. So that extra bandwidth and unstable stuff, that was extra bandwidth from communicating with Twitch while I had it open in the browser. So Twitch tried to be something more than what it is, and it failed. It's that simple. And now we're seeing the opposite happen. We're seeing things double down. We're seeing Twitch double down on live only, and we're seeing Twitch pull back on features, removing the host feature, cutting partners to a 50-50 sub split, retiring the 70-30 sub split for the lucky large streamers that were able to get it. Nerfing service in South Korea, peer-to-peer for 1080p, but otherwise the standard stuff you'll get from Twitch is like 720p or whatnot as the default size. Somebody has no muffler. It's 3:20 in the morning. That's just about early enough for somebody to go out to work, though, if they work day shift. So, I don't know. Let's see. Which way is that coming from? That's one of the other neighbors, not the guy with the pony car. Interesting. So, boy, hope we don't get someone who like idles their truck for 20 minutes with no muffler. We've had those on this street before. People are constantly coming and going around here depending on how long you want to put up with the ratty apartments in the area. So Twitch had the opportunity to become something bigger and it failed. And now that failure is coming home to roost. You have YouTube and Facebook, two gigantic competitors versus Twitch with more to offer and more backing from the parent companies than what Twitch gets from Amazon. And then you have Twitch seemingly wanting to sabotage itself with TwitchCon San Diego coming up. Why? Why is there all this bad press? Why does there need to be these fights between Twitch streamers and their own platform? With the conference coming up. What's that keynote speech like by Emmett Shear gonna be like this go round? And TwitchCon San Diego is not the big one when it comes to TwitchCons. That honor went to TwitchCon Amsterdam earlier this year. TwitchCon Amsterdam was the first TwitchCon post-pandemic lockdowns. TwitchCon San Diego doesn't have that hype behind it. TwitchCon San Diego really doesn't have anything good behind it. There are going to be some Twitch streamers that go to TwitchCon San Diego and have fun. We know that. There's going to be meet and greets with some stream fans and whatnot. There's going to be networking. There's going to be collabs. It's probably going to be a good time for everybody going to the party. And I think Nick Merckx and his buddies are having some alternate thing. I don't know, because they don't like the mask mandate. Whatever, man. Either way, there's going to be people having fun at the convention. But from a platform perspective, I mean, we saw Twitch blow the PR opportunities of their first TwitchCon post-pandemic lockdowns. We saw TwitchCon Amsterdam not really do very much with the struggling state of Twitch. And now for TwitchCon San Diego, It's almost like Twitch wants to just tie their shoes together and trip over their own feet all the time. Removing the host feature, the sub-split issues, the issues with large streamers and their drama. It's like the nerfing of service in South Korea. Why would Twitch ding the goodwill of the people that are going to this convention with the convention coming up? Why would they shoot themselves in the foot like this? I don't understand it. Then again, they're losing leadership figures anyways. They had that vice president of whatever resign earlier. So why does it seem like TwitchCon San Diego is just a meetup? Twitch isn't really doing much that will help them in the long run with this. Either way, I know I sound like I sound like a mortuary guy or something, like planning for a funeral. It's just somber and dark almost. But it's the sad state of affairs as we head into this TwitchCon. I'm not going to pay too much attention to it. Probably maybe some memorable clips here and there, but I don't even watch Twitch half the time. A lot of times I go to watch something, it's going to be YouTube, and I've got a backlog of stuff to watch. So, but Twitch, this is not the PR move. And it's sad because there are some Twitch streamers who want more concurrence that are going to try and network and collab at TwitchCon San Diego. But I think that ship has sailed. I think these people that are going there trying to resurrect their streaming careers with their sagging, declining numbers is they're going to be surprised that it's not like that. You just go there to have fun. Like it's like going to BlizzCon almost. Actually, BlizzCon's like a month away, isn't it? Yeah, so it's just going to be a convention. It's not going to be anything wild and crazy. And if Twitch couldn't make TwitchCon Amsterdam into something that should be on the general public's radar when it comes to game streaming, video games, and personalities on the internet, they're not going to do anything with TwitchCon San Diego. They're just going to go there and have it. Kind of sad, considering the state of the platform. But that's where we find ourselves. Now, the real reason why I wanted to go to browser mode. The more direct version of the Sully Gnome 365 expanded to lifetime that I've been keeping an eye on. That's a little bit less weird lines and stuff like that. Under Sully Gnome's long-term statistics, the green is Twitch and the audience. Average concurrence. The purple dots are for peak concurrence, and then there's a trend line. Of course, yeah, Twitch has grown. The pandemic has helped them out. But you can see the pandemic and the lockdowns have helped them out. But you can see in a much smoother fashion this little cream spinach or whatever you want, split pea soup down here at the bottom. The progression of Twitch as a platform, starting in the middle of the last decade, roughly around the time that uploads became a thing. And yeah, there's progression. There's also the adpocalypse era. There's Twitch progressing off of YouTube's mistakes that YouTube's infamous for. I'm probably, something on the Ethernet readout. It's probably pulling data when I'm reading all these numbers. Then it stagnates. Twitch's growth stagnates at the end of the last decade. But as coronavirus, or, COVID, we now call it, starts to become a thing, we see, here's the lockdown surge right here. And we see a whole bunch of people getting introduced to online media for the first time. And if they bought equipment to do like work from home or school at home or something like that, if they bought the equipment to do stuff over the internet, they don't just use it for work, they use it for play as well. And so people try their hand at streaming. Maybe they bought a camera and they made some YouTube videos and tried YouTubing as well. But they try their hand at stuff. The lockdowns end by July, and there ends that jump. But the UK Alpha variant starts to become a thing. The variants start to spin around. Then the Delta variant. Then Omicron heading towards the end of 2021. Then we had this going on. Another peak right here. But the peak of Twitch, in terms of concurrence, was in the middle of 2021, and they have struggled to hold on to it since then. So, here's the issue, though. Let's go to January 2020. Here we go up to January. Here's January 2020 before everything happened. when it was just, oh, there's this virus that's over in China somewhere. The surge is at the lockdowns. Here is the peak. Here is their gains. Here's their gains and stuff. And then by the end of 2020, they're up around here somewhere. 2021 sees peak Twitch. And then the skid begins. A little bit of a bump, like the bump on the Enron ride in The Simpsons in January, February 2022, as Omicron rips around the country and various parts of the world. And lots of people get infected. And even if there aren't hard lockdowns, people are spooked into not doing very much, so they turn to the internet. But mask mandates go away, other mitigations go away, things like that. And so it's been kind of flat or a slight decline ever since. September 2022 so far has them at 2,527,000 concurrents, which corresponds to roughly the end of 2020. So what I've been saying about Twitch continues to be true. They've lost what they gained in 2021, and the struggle now, if they can do it, despite YouTube flexing its muscle and more people waking up to the nonsense that Twitch is pulling here, their struggle is to hold on to what they gained in 2020. 2.5 mil is the magic number. Right here. December 2020 average viewers. And now they're at 2527 versus 2526. That's a hair better than the end of 2020. But yeah, they've lost their gains from 2021. Now they're trying to hold on to what they gained in 2020. I don't think Twitch is going back down here somewhere. I think too many people know about it. Too many people were introduced to it. The question is, where does it settle out? And what does that mean for the streamers who have enjoyed, I would say, easy street if they're at the top of the pile? Twitch has been very much a kingmaker platform. Now they have algorithms. They have more opportunities to discover more streamers. But the fundamental limitation of Twitch is that it's live. They double down on live only. So there isn't really an option for omnimedia or stuff. And there have been actual things that were sent out to the partners that encourage them to go to other platforms to advertise their Twitch channel and try and get traffic to come back to Twitch. Like go make YouTube videos or something. That thing that all the commentators say to do. But yeah, you can see that it's a struggle for Twitch, and it's kind of blah going into TwitchCon San Diego. But there's a far more sobering set of numbers that showcases that people are seeing what Twitch entails, and they're making up their minds to not stay involved with it. And that is this. This is Twitch affiliates versus partners. Gold is affiliates, purple is partners. It's not as pronounced as the jump in viewership and hours streamed when people discovered streaming during the lockdowns. This is people you have to get to Twitch affiliates, and if you have no idea what you're doing, as in the Twitch ecosystem, you can take a while to get affiliate. There are some people that take years to get to Twitch affiliate. Why you would stream to 1 or 2 concurrents tops for that period of time with no other way of getting views, like on YouTube, where streams are treated like extra long videos, why you would do that is like, what? Why would you do that? And yet I can just do a fancy search on Twitter and run into people's tweets bragging about getting Twitch affiliate after years. They spent years with teeny tiny streams with almost nobody watching except maybe a bot or whatever. If that even counts. I don't think it does. Either way. Here is, so 2019, up around here or so, the number of Twitch affiliates, 358,000. So yeah, the jump is there, but it's not as pronounced because it takes a while for some people who don't know what they're doing, myself being part of that back then, to find out how to get to 3 concurrents and get affiliate. You would get followers on Twitch by people finding your stream and liking it. It's just the sort of thing where if they felt like clicking the thing, they would click it. So 50 followers, not an issue. Stream a certain amount of time, not an issue. The thing would be the concurrents. The concurrents are what throw a wrench into Twitch affiliate versus YouTube partner. It creates a problem I very distinctly, and I got to make a video or a short about this, called the 2-viewer Andy problem. If you're a brand new Twitch streamer trying to get Twitch affiliate, a 2-viewer stream on Twitch is bad. You're not making your concurrent goal and you're soft banning yourself from getting monetized. A 2-viewer stream on YouTube is good. It gives you watch hours and stuff that go towards what you need to get partnered. And we know one of the reasons I'm keeping an eye on these affiliate numbers, next year, YouTube is rolling out what I wanted them to roll out for a while now. That new, easier to get partnership level that only has supers but no advertising. So you get the supers way earlier than you get access to ad revenue. I'm curious what the requirements will be for that. But that's something I think is going to, well, let's just continue here. We see the pattern with the affiliates is pretty similar, except a little bit slower on the upswing because it takes a while for people to figure out that the concurrent goal, unique to Twitch, by the way, for getting monetized, the concurrent goal changes how you have to stream in order to become a Twitch affiliate. So, and the way it works is make some friends, find something they want to watch, and stream that to them. And don't stream if you can't keep the concurrence above the goal. End your stream if they drop below the goal and hope you get enough hours and stuff in order to get it. Because literally, it's an ongoing average. It's a fully automatic system. You need to average 3 in order to get it. So any streaming you do that doesn't have 3 concurrents counts against you. And you get credit for running your stream once. That means you have to get 2 concurrents. If there's other ways to fake those other 2 concurrents to get Twitch affiliate, then it becomes real easy. But I mean, I can see why the upswing on this is slower. Now, let's see. Progress, end of 2020, we're here. And there were some calls at like Glitchcon and stuff. Actually, Glitchcon was 2020 or something like that. Glitchcon talked about all these people becoming Twitch affiliates. It might have been during this upswing, if I remember right. Don't know if there was one for 2021. Either way, so 2020 ends, going to 2021. The peak of viewership for Twitch is in the middle of 2021. Let's see that here. So around April, May 2021 is the peak of Twitch viewership all time. And they have what for that? They don't even have peak Twitch affiliates either. But there's a little bit of a skid towards the end of the year. And then suddenly lots of affiliates. The all-time high for number of Twitch affiliates in the Solinome data is January of 2022, when people were spooked about Omicron, I'm guessing. Or maybe they're home from school or whatever. Maybe they caught Omicron. They were stuck home watching Twitch while they were sick with COVID. I don't know. 1.2 million Twitch affiliates. Active channels during that month. And since then, it's been a skid. And a more notable skid than last time. September 2022. The recently completed month. I keep forgetting it's October. 998,000 affiliates, roughly down to the million mark from a peak of 1.2 million. And this is where I get my inspiration for the fiery tweets that I write. Look, people have been publicizing things like Sykkuno going to YouTube, Valkyrie going to YouTube, Ludwig going to YouTube. Now, Lily Pichu going to YouTube. These big streamers going to YouTube get publicized all to heck when they leave Twitch. But who's talking about 200,000 Twitch affiliates quitting streaming in 2022? Versus at GlitchCon, Twitch affiliate, someone just got Twitch affiliate, let me just see when that was. We live in the day and age of Google. I did get some emotes from that, by the way. All right, 2020, December of 2020 was GlitchCon, and that weird Emmett Shear speech. Well, a lot of his speeches are weird. We're talking December of 2020 here. So yeah, right? Yeah. Big jump. It was over on this part of the chart. So, of course, they're going to be like, so-and-so just got Twitch affiliate. So-and-so just got Twitch affiliate. So-and-so just got Twitch affiliate. Yeah, it was in this part of it. But this year, we have this. It's still progress versus what happened in 2020, but it's quite a skid. Yeah. 200,000 Twitch affiliates stopped streaming this year. Since the beginning of the year. Who's talking about that? And you know what? I don't blame those 200,000 people. When word gets out that despite the algorithms, Twitch is such a kingmaker system that the big streamers still command notably over half the audience. You know, the monthly active users is 140 million MAUs. So you're competing against 1 million Twitch affiliates, some of them aren't very small either. Some of them have larger followings. They're just getting blown off for partnership, like I've seen multiple times in the last 2 years. And why wouldn't Twitch do that? They can be picky. Look at all the people that are affiliates now. Look at what they gained during the surge. Of course they're going to be super picky about who they partner. And in the same time period, starting with the beginning of 2020, 20,644 partners, 30,000 partners, 36,000 live partners in September 2022 versus the same time period, January 2020, going from 408,000 affiliates up to a peak of 1.2 million. Twitch has plenty of talent to choose from if they want to partner somebody, more so than ever before in the platform's history, despite the decline. With 200,000 people. So these million plus affiliates are fighting over an audience of 70 million concurrents. Then you split up by time zone, language group gets even smaller. If you stream in North America, how small exactly? And you're fighting with like 1 million people or whatever. And Twitch is the most popular streaming service in like US, Europe, mostly the Western markets. Some Eastern, some Asia, stuff like that, but mostly the Western markets. Yeah. And then there's what Twitch offers. They nerfed the sub split. They are inherently nerfed because they focus entirely on live streaming. So there's no after the fact element in terms of things like ad impressions or other stuff like that. So even if Twitch gains all of YouTube's features, even if they copy Super Chat with that new cheer thing that they're working on that is more like YouTube Super Chat, by the way, even if they verbatim copy YouTube, it's still going to be worse than YouTube because of the inherent limitations of the platform and its audience size. So why? What's the point? Then there's things like the banned streamer rule and rules that take things a step further than other platforms. Like, oh, okay, you got banned. People can't even talk about you without risking a ban themselves. They must be silent about you. They cannot, knowingly advertise a suspended streamer. I don't blame these 200,000 people that stopped streaming on Twitch this year. Not at all. While YouTube's been making power moves. And then there's the features that they're not advertising enough. Like the ability to control what ads play on your stream. Matter of fact, and of course, how can we forget? The classic YouTube advantage. You have a skip button. Even if I run all the ad types, you can just skip them. Unlike on Twitch. And unskippable ads are a selling point for that. So yeah. Sobering. Absolutely sobering. 200,000 people have stopped streaming on Twitch this year. And that's just the affiliates. Who knows what, the Twitch rookies who aren't monetized and stream to nobody or maybe one person or two people on average. Who knows what the situation is with them? We don't even know how many more of those people there are in addition to the 200,000 Twitch affiliates that have hung it up with streaming since the start of the year. And then there's the bad press. There's everything else. So I realize that this is like one half of the discussion. Now we can get into the more technical half of it. But I'm telling you right now, there are people going to TwitchCon San Diego. They're going to have to come to grips with the ugly truth that streams don't replace videos. Streams don't replace videos. I've been learning it with this internet nonsense, which, kudos to the ISP. Still no dropped frames. But one of the lessons since I've been fooling around with streaming is this. Streams do not replace videos. And some of the people that are going to TwitchCon San Diego in the midst of all of this bad stuff going on with the platform, this is a hard lesson that they're going to have to learn. Let's take a break, refill drinks, and come back and tell the rest of the story. Well, it's always good to get up and walk around, except when you drink and you come back and you're about to restart the stream and burp. There you go. Anyways, yeah. So, all right. So before the break, well, first let's check the sound, make sure it's still normal. You're about to restart the stream, and that sounds about right. Yeah. So basically, I dug out some cables that are getting stuck under the boom arm for the microphone. You know what I should do? I should get something to just stick in there instead of the cable. That way the cables can't get stuck underneath the boom arm because something else is already stuck there. And I don't want to pinch any insulation or something. I have issues with the computer with random stuff losing power over USB. And I think some of that has to do with the high drain nature of devices like my microphone and other stuff. And here's the thing. If I have the room to do so, why not just leave the microphone and the camera permanently plugged into their USB ports directly without having another failure point introduced via like a hub or something like that. And then put like, we'll check the current draw on the other devices and set everything up. So we went over the sobering, we just passed the hour mark too. Cool. Anyways, we went over the sobering reality that is the upcoming TwitchCon San Diego convention and the state of Twitch prior to the break. And the reason why we did that and went into all that detail and got all somber about it is because the title is Streams Are Not a Replacement for Videos. Now, those Twitch streamers, some of them are getting so desperate to add more value to their channels that they're basically becoming crappy YouTubers with like television style special event streams and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, having a live show is cool and all, but there's a reason why with television, they started out with live and then went into like syndicated and pre-recorded and stuff along those lines. There's a reason for that. There's a reason why it went in that direction. It's because of the creative freedom you have and the ability to make something that's a better use of your audience's time. So, and in some cases, keep your ego in check. Like if you film too much stuff and you end up making like a half-hour video out of something that should only be 10 minutes, and then you have a lot of stuff that dies on the cutting room floor, so to speak. And that's where we get the term from, too. It's just like, not everything has to make it into what goes out to the audience, especially if you're doing stuff after the fact. You don't get that luxury when you're streaming. Especially IRL streaming. I know I've watched a lot of IRL streams until I started realizing what a waste of my time they were. And they're really not worth watching except on screen number 2. Why should I sit there glued to the screen when somebody's walking around some city somewhere and like a good chunk of the stream is them riding in Ubers or something or walking from place to place? And yeah, they'll keep talking impromptu just so there's something for the audience to watch or listen to. But the truth of the matter is they don't have it most of the time. You get like big 8-hour stream. Good luck watching the VOD if that's what you want to do. For the title, the title of the stream refers to visiting this specific, this specific place or whatever. And you get this little of what you're actually looking for from this much footage. It's literally counterintuitive and antithetical to what makes someone a good YouTuber when you can edit things together really well and put on a show and, like I say, craft something for your audience. I've been fooling around with streaming since 2020, of course, one of the many folks who got into it, but it's not because of the 2020 lockdowns. Around the time that was happening, cable internet with more than one up became competitively priced. I could have gotten into streaming earlier if I wanted to pay a massive premium because cable was light years ahead of the DSL technology. But once it became affordable, and of course, part of what did that was the DSL side with Frontier got worse and worse until I was paying nearly $70 a month for 18.1 service that I couldn't even stream with. When you start approaching that price point, you start to wonder, why don't I just go to 50 and 5 and then do like some 30 FPS stream at like 4,500 for a bit rate? Or then it got up to 110 as the base package, which is what it is now. The next round of upgrades will take me to 220, and I'll be able to do full quality 1080p streaming on YouTube with the recommended settings from NVIDIA. So, and start looking beyond all of that. And then, of course, when things go synchronous, it'll get really fun when Frontier Fiber gets here. So I didn't have to be one of those 2020 streamers. I didn't have to be one of those people. I really didn't. I didn't have to be one of those people that is, generically associated with streaming beginning in 2020 with the lockdowns. That's just the way things worked out. Part of what I've had to learn through experience, and that's one of the ways to learn these things, by the way, is what streaming is better at and what videos are better at. Now I'm starting to think about that with regards to YouTube Shorts. Now that I've been watching more short form, what are shorts better at? And so you have access to all these formats. The formats are tools. And so ask yourself what tool is right for the job. Use the best tool for the job. Don't wing things. Sometimes it goes in the world of, by the way, building trades and stuff. Sometimes that goes down to some fine details. Like, for example, if you're going to hit something with a hammer, make sure it's a crowbar, something with soft steel. Because if you hit two hammers together, the hard steel can send metal flying into your eyes if you're not careful. Or throw sparks or whatever, because the metal is harder in the tools. It's one of those tech school no-nos that everybody learns about, including electronics nerds like myself. But right tool for the job. What's a video good for? What's a stream good for? What's short form good for? And then when you get into more omni-media stuff, what are pictures good for, infographics, and what are text updates good for? That's the struggle you have, is finding out what's good for what. And I can tell you that streams are not a replacement for videos. The biggest thing you lose is the ability to edit. You know, it's not just about editing out your mistakes, your does, ahs, and uhs, like so many YouTubers did with jump cut vlogs. You know what I'm talking about, right? Somebody comes in, they just jump cut through a discussion because they don't have the impromptu speaking skills to actually speak it properly in one take. So you see them jump cutting all over the place, saying what sounds like normal whatever because they're stuttering a lot or something like that. And they edit all of that out. So they're jump cutting all over the place. It was a popular thing about 10 years ago with some people doing vlogs. It's literally they jump cut all around the room while they were saying, just to say something. But people, I guess, have worked on their impromptu skills ever since. The way things run nowadays with chat streams running like radio shows and stuff. But streams are not a replacement for videos. Losing the ability to edit is also an issue when you just film too much. Sometimes, and we see this with movies all the time, with the director's cut versus the theatrical release and stuff, sometimes there are things that the person making the something really wants to have in there, but then later on, I don't know if that really fits, or it takes up too much time, or it's kind of blah, let's just pull it. And so we talk about stuff being dead on the cutting room floor, not making it into the final version of something. You may film something that you think will be amazing for your video, and then a couple days later when you're editing it and your head clears and you're looking at it with fresh eyes, you're like, I don't think that really works so well now that I think about it. See ya. You don't get that luxury with streaming, though. And so, yeah, I mean, these live shows and whatnot that some of these big streamers have been doing, fundamentally, they're prone to issues because they're live. They're also prone to internet issues. And this is something I've been running into for the past month or so with this whole issue with the ISP. Fortunately, still no dropped frames. This is the best performance I've seen out of this broadband in over a month now. Now I'll just start lagging towards the end of the discussion because I said that. I don't know, but yeah. So no drop frames, none of the nonsense that I've been seeing, and this is the smoothest I've seen from it. Just like last night. So very, very smooth last night as well with the test stream that I did. But here's the thing. We've seen the two kinds of lag spikes with these things. We've seen the drop in frames because the bandwidth gets halved for like a second or two. And then we've seen the drop in frames. Then we've seen situations where the whole stream hard cuts. And I have to figure out afterwards, okay, what was I saying? Do I want to rewind or something like that? Do I want to edit this later? Which sometimes if you edit something in YouTube, it removes the ability for people to take clips of stuff. So, do we really want to do that? Do we really want to go to all that trouble? So you see what I mean? And you avoid all that by being able to edit stuff by making a video. And then there's the live components of it. Like, I would say nowadays, what I'm doing with this chat stream is a waste. Nobody's saying anything in the chat. We're not even chatting. I'm just making a crappy YouTube video, essentially. Now, it's got to have stuttering, does, ahs, and uhs. So if I want to make a point about something, what's better? This or a video dedicated to the topic, get rid of chat, just let people post comments, and just edit it all together so that your hour-long discussion is now a 15-minute video. There's no contest. But if you've been a Twitch streamer unaware that you're tied up in Twitch's business decisions of staying live only, you're trying to wing it by any means necessary, congratulations on becoming a crappier YouTuber with your attempts to make your streams more like YouTube videos. Congratulations. What have you accomplished? And I guess the biggest issue with this, especially for the streamers caught up in this garbage, is opportunity cost and cognitive dissonance. When you're 5 years into this stuff and all you have to show for it is a bunch of VODs versus the polar opposite would be like someone making a feature film and people enjoy it and it's very well received and people like it for years and years and years from one certain time period's effort to make something evergreen that stands the test of time. Stuff that gets views on YouTube for years. Stuff that people are fond of and associate with you for years versus whatever you were doing on stream on August 3rd, 2021 or whatever. Can you even remember what you were doing on August 3rd, 2021? Maybe if you keep a journal or something where you check your old social media posts. See what I mean? Streams are not a replacement for videos. If you call yourself a streamer, you're limiting yourself. Full stop. But I don't want to learn how to edit. Editing is the magic of videos. It's what makes videos interesting as opposed to just footage from your camera. It's what makes something worth watching as opposed to if you ever watch an old VHS home movie, there's probably a couple of them on YouTube these days, where mom walks around with the camera and record literally everywhere and she's swaying back and forth because, we're talking an old shoulder VHS camera from the 80s or 90s. And she thinks just because it's her and her family on camera that it's going to be the most amazing thing to watch, but everybody cringes because it's just home movies from the 80s and 90s. You can probably dig around and find something on YouTube to get what I'm talking about. But the thing is, in the camcorder era, nobody knew anything about any kind of presentation stuff. Nothing like what we have today with today's content creators. It was literally just someone walking around with a camcorder on their shoulder. And, hey, Joey, did you get what you want for Christmas this year? And just literally like no effort whatsoever. Just change the direction of that camera so it's pointing at the person filming all the time, and you have a lot of IRL streams these days. What has changed in a generation? What has changed? See how bad this is? We're literally talking about something crappy from the 80s and 90s having a modern descendant with today's Twitch streamers. And let's not even talk about IRL. Let's talk about being a game streamer. You're pointing a webcam at yourself while you're playing Fortnite. You're doing the same thing that the overzealous mom did with the camera on her shoulder at all the holiday events and the birthday parties and embarrassing you. And I'm going to play the tape next year. We're going to see how you grew in a year. All that crap. Yeah. Some things never change, do they? So when you're a certain amount of years into doing this stuff and all you have to show is a bunch of VODs, which is just footage, you got to think to yourself, did I waste my younger, better looking years, photogenic media, on something like that? Sobering. Really, really sobering. And so that's why this chat stream is going to be one of the last chat streams that I do for a while. If people actually want to chat, we can set something up. Now, if we want to have some kind of live event, we can do that. But I'm very much in Harris Heller's neck of the woods with these things. There are far better ways that I can make topical videos. We saw that with the multi-streaming video, which now, with what Ninja's been up to lately, it's turning into something where I don't think he's growing from multi-streaming. I think people are just picking a convenient platform. They already know who he is. And they just pick a more convenient platform to watch him besides Twitch, if they're a fan of YouTube or Facebook or Twitter or whatever. Why would you watch someone live on Twitter? I don't know. If he's even still doing that. We'll see what other platforms he's playing with these days. But these chat streams Yeah, Late Night Nerd Lounge. I can come on here and maybe, just chit chat about recent tech stuff or things like that. I can come on here and do that kind of stuff if I really want to. But there's, especially with the issues with the internet and with the frame drops and the other stuff and the constant showstopper of an issue where we get completely cut off and now you got to find out where were we so we don't have like gaps in the discussion. No, it's better to make videos for that kind of stuff. So I'm working on a format that'll be similar to the people that use streaming gear to film YouTube videos. And I'm working on some other things as well to make the experience better with regards to even this. And I have a whole new format for my game streams. I think game streams are going to become the primary way that I stream on here in the very, very near future. We've seen bits and pieces of it with ESO, maybe get the retro setup going and stuff along those lines. But I mean, if it's something where I'm like, hey, just watch me do this or something real time, I think game streams fit that a lot better. Versus, let's say I want to talk about something. Do I really need to have a big, long start soon screen and maybe a couple people show up tops to hear me talk about it? And then there's all the issues with the internet, the issues with not being able to edit and stuff. No. If I continue the Late Night Nerd Lounge, I want it to be like a radio show more so than a podcast. And there is a difference between the two. If you listen to talk radio, a lot of times the host will show up with something to talk about until the phone lines start lighting up. And then he'll just start talking to various people about it and things like that. But there is no like topical discussion or anything. And yeah, you can listen to it after the fact, but you'd be better off with a more direct podcast or a more direct lecture or something. It's like with this one YouTuber, Ryan Reeves. He's a professor at a theological seminary, but he talks about some secular historical topics from time to time. And his videos are straight up lectures with video footage of like paintings and stuff. So if he's talking about the Renaissance, I'll show some Renaissance paintings and stuff while he talks. That's a straight up lecture. But if he was doing something like this, then yeah. If he was doing something like this, it wouldn't work as well. And yeah, I can listen to like old radio shows. I can listen to my old streams, but the fact remains, and so can anybody, by the way. The fact remains, there are better ways to have a topical discussion than to have a chat stream. Chat streams need to be about the people tuning in and we talk about stuff. I'll show up with something to talk about, but people have to show up in the chat and actually say something. Otherwise, what's the point? I'm basically making a crappier podcast video. So this will be it for the chat streams. I really can't think of, and I don't think there's enough people watching to really justify doing these versus game streams. As with the game streams, if I'm making like some kind of log, so to speak, of progression in an MMO or something like that, that's something completely different. There is no better way of doing that, unless I want to make a video, which will be kind of different. But if I'm just like, here is me literally from point A to point B, playing through this kind of progression in a video game, that's probably the best way to do that. And that's one of the areas where streaming is really good. And of course, after all this time, Twitch still remains an incredibly strong brand when it comes to gaming and their ties to gaming. So, as opposed to this, where I have Logan lurking in the background, probably falling asleep if he goes to bed around this time. I gotta support Jay. I'm gonna be in the stream, but I'm not gonna say anything. But what's the point? Why don't I just make a video and you just watch it whenever the hell you want? You see this on other streams. I see it on Twitch. I see it with the Game Chasers on Saturday nights here on YouTube. I see it on lots of places. It's the conversation and the audience involvement that makes streams interesting. If you don't have that, you just have a crappy YouTube video. That's all there is to it. And that's before we start talking about internet issues. But I think that sums it up, really. You can't edit. You run the risk of screwing everything up with an internet outage and all kinds of other stuff. No, it has to be about living in the moment with this stuff. It has to be about having a conversation. It has to be about taking calls even, or the equivalent of it through chat. It can't be about just showing up and talking. Even the radio guys don't do that. They consider their shows a failure if they sit there giving a monologue for 2 hours. And I would consider that, I would consider the same thing as well. Bottom line is, I've seen some commentators and stuff. Damn Real Trade Center. Looking at some stuff in Firefox here. I would consider some of the commentator streamers that I watch, even they're interacting with chat. Even they have some kind of two-way communication going. That's really it. So outside of that kind of situation, outside of that sort of situation, it's not good to do chat streams, really. Because everything that I could do in a chat stream would be much better off in a commentary video. Much better. So, I have a new format for ESO streams with the screenshot theater that I'm working on that I will adapt into things like, for example, the retro stream setup that I want to have for the retro setup and everything. But streams should not come at the cost of videos. My Labor Day weekend video from September, I'm still unfinished. I'm going to have to hard cut the thing. It's October 6th, and that video is supposed to be a Labor Day weekend video. It stretched through all of September because of the stuff at work and the internet stuff. I have the retro setup sitting back there unused. I have the Silver Bullet set up for Windows XP as a retro machine, collecting dust for a year. And I wonder why these computers keep killing CMOS batteries every time I start them up. Because, you just get into one thing, you get into another, you get into another. The next thing you know, months or a year has passed and you've made no progress. That's the nature of things, with the way life is, with the way being a grown-up is. You got to pick what you want to be known for and just stay with that. And many times it's what you're happy with that you stick with. Because if you're not happy with something, you're just doing it because you feel like you have to. What's the difference between that and your job, and how much are you getting paid for it? Why not just get another job? Instead of the paltry ad revenue that YouTube gives, and maybe one person will give you a $2 super chat or something. Versus places in my area hiring around $20 an hour because people don't want to work. So the people that do work get handsomely rewarded, which is one of the reasons why I've been doing less of this stuff and getting more hours at work. It's a better path for that kind of stuff. But yeah, streams are not a replacement for videos. And this channel is going to reflect that. This is probably the last chat stream you're going to see for a while. I don't care if something Twitch does ticks me off tomorrow. I'd be better off with a podcasty format. There's already other people using stream gear to make YouTube videos, and they get far better results than this. There's really no point in me doing a chat stream with some lurker who gives me a sympathy view while they have the stream going in screen number 2 because they're playing on their Nintendo Switch or whatever. There's really no point. Because the net result is a crappier YouTube video. And who wants that? Especially after the fact. So yeah, I don't know when I'm doing another one of these because I have a lot far superior alternatives to them that I will be making use of. Just got to get the rest of the format working. Well, since nobody's watching anymore, let's call it a morning. Even the sympathy viewers smartened up and left. Hey, what's the point of streaming if there isn't the interaction? What's the point of having a live event if there isn't an audience? There is none. You have way better ways to use your time, and you can make way better stuff that is a lot better in the long run. So this experiment is over. Speaking of experiments, Zero dropped frames, sending a thumbs up to the internet service provider. But no, I really don't think chat streams should turn into the new vlogs of the 2020s and something that people filler. I'm not watching that. Okay, enough wasting my time. Enough. I know there's people that listen to these after the fact, but if you want something listenable, a podcasty video will be way better than this. So I will probably not do another one of these until I feel like there's enough people that'll actually say something in the chat that it's actually worth it. And there's been very, very, very few of those. Once in a great while. So, but what becomes of the Late Night Nerd Lounge? I think the best thing I could do is get away from talking about stuff and do stuff. So if I want to work on a project or something, people want to see the whole project from start to finish, we'll do things that way. That would be a good use for a stream. But showing up and talking about things? No way. If I want to formally address something, make a video. And if it's short enough, make a YouTube short. Streams are only good at certain things. Everything else, it's second rate. And there's going to be big Twitch streamers learning this the hard way over the next year or two, easily. Especially as what's going on right now continues to keep going on. All right. I have far better things to be working on that'll result in far more entertaining, better uses of people's time. So, Late Night Nerd Lounge. Will I even keep the name? I don't know. Of course, MultimediaJay TV was too tacky anyways. But I want to relegate chats, what I currently use for chat streams, into something where I'm doing something live. What exists right now and the lack of activity it gets time and again is not worth it. And I'm not going to be the only one with this attitude in the very, very near future. Till next time, this is MultimediaJay signing off. Thanks for stopping by. And see that? The crappy streams even still end like videos too. So what's the point? There is none. Why did I even think this was a good idea? It's the lessons you learn by being into this stuff, though. Experience. You gotta get it somehow. You gotta get it one way or another. Right, I have some videos to work on. Have a good day.